a lot of the comment thread that we've had is really around storytelling, right, in video. And each of these guys have like a different aspect and angle that they take towards storytelling. So, you know, I thought it would be great. We brought Morgan Neville up here earlier. I don't know if you guys saw, but Morgan, you know, is a storyteller by nature, right? He gave us an anecdote about how he goes through the New York Times and kind of just pieces it and looks at each story and tries to pull like the narrative and find his own angle and take on it. So, you know, I wanted to throw the question back out to you guys, like, kind of what is your creative process and how do you find the angles that you find?
It's really, really interesting to, you know, go into this new space, try to become what I guess you could call, you know, people don't even really know what to call it right now. Are we a digital studio? Are we this? Are we that? But you know, the goals have always been the same, which is how do you tell really great stories? How do you keep it in touch with your audience? And you know, even now we're doing a big Hulu show, and it's really interesting taking our creative process and trying to put it in the space of a traditional TV show. And it's like, how do we blend and show what we are? And it's a little bit about behind the scenes. It's a little bit of how we make shorts. It's a little bit of sort of selling, you know, your own way of making storytelling, and that's what we've always liked to do.
The creative process is very simple. I know my audience really well. I would only work with brands that I can already connect to. So then the creative process becomes very simple. You already know how to deliver a message to your audience. You already know what the brand stands for, and it just becomes this synergy, easier to deliver to your audience, and actually creates a better response.
So for a parody, it's like the process is 2 weeks. We will find what the hottest music video that is right, like currently what the hottest one is. We will watch it millions of times in a writer's meeting, and then we have to pick apart as much as we can and find anything that we can to kind of comment on or make fun of about the video that we think the audience would find humorous. And a lot of our ideas actually come from going to the original video and reading the comments, because all the comments are angry people saying like why they don't like it. So we can build a storyline. It takes like 3 days to figure out the script. We shoot for a day, maybe 2 days. If it's a big shoot, we'll do 3 days. And then it's like 5 days a post, and then it goes on YouTube, and then we do it all over again.
I was looking at the numbers last night, and I was cranking it together. I think the social reach on the stage is about 40 million, so that's nice. Across all of your different platforms.
You know, trying to get 1 million unique people to sign up to something is a pretty like daunting task, but I smashed it within about 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. We'd pushed over 330,000 people just to go and sign up to a website to, again, watch me play video games, which was super successful, and it just grew and grew and grew like that, and before you knew it, I kind of took the method of breaching like what is against YouTubers' sort of practice of being like, I'm going to copy something from TV. And when I copied something from TV, it was like, at this set time, every single day for 2 hours, I'm going to live stream. Like, as a YouTuber, you can just put up a video and hope people see it, or you can keep it on a schedule. But for my live streaming, every day I decided I'm going to do it every single day and just stick to the schedule. And every day I saw my fan base grow, the viewership grow, and to one point I hit 121,000 people concurrent just watching me play Minecraft.
So if you're a brand or a creator, you have to always be on different platforms because you never know what's going to take off. And last night I signed up for Cyberdust. That platform is very different, and I feel like that platform is created for businesses more so than creators, and it's a very one-on-one engagement. So I actually talk to my customers on there that buy my product, and I get to blast news into their faces, and then it disappears. And there's no social media aspect where it's like, oh, how many followers do they have? Oh, how many people like screenshotted it? It's very private, but it's very connected. But yeah, so YouTube videos, I usually watch them in the background. If something catches my attention, I go and I watch them again. But for Snapchat, I have to be there. I can't just step away, and that's why the Snapchat is really successful.
I would actually argue against Olga on the fact that brands should be everywhere. Speaking from the theorist perspective and kind of the channels that we run, we are primarily on YouTube with a secondary light focus on Twitter. And that's really about it. We're looking at different avenues now just because we've reached that scale. But we've been really focusing on developing a strong audience on this one platform because we specialize in longer form content that viewers on YouTube are interested in. And that's where we're able to deliver the strongest message.
You know, I think for you guys in particular, engagement means something else, right? Like I would assume that means something entirely different, and it's not just, you know, just the numbers of like how many likes. Like, you know, I imagine, Tom, you're not looking at the number of likes you get on a video so much, but you're looking at, you know, what is your relationship with your audience, right? and I wanted to like bring that to light here. So, you know, is there any sort of story that you guys kind of have? Like, what is your relationship with your audience, and how do you sort of
Mine's very personal, because when I started doing this, I was 17 years old, living at home with my dad. I've actually done the whole progression of my life within the past like 5 years, and my audience has shared pretty much every single moment of that with me. Like a family member passed away, and I disappeared off the internet for like 3 weeks, and then when I returned, like the love and support from my audience was absolutely incredible. So it's like you have a genuine connection of feeling like you have something in common with your audience, basically.
My channel is a little bit different, obviously. Like, they're music video parodies, so we used to do it in a way where I never addressed the audience, and that's back when I had like 100,000 subscribers, so a while ago. But when I started doing end slates, where I would actually be like, yo guys, thanks for watching, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is where you can check out more, or, you know, you can get this song on iTunes, blah, and stuff like that, where they can actually see my personality. That's when all of a sudden I went from 100,000 to like 1 million in a matter of months. Just because people felt like they could connect with the actual person behind the channel.
It's a mistake that we see brands make a lot of times in this space, is like, wow, hey, Miss Glamorazzi or Michelle Phan or whoever has this amazing, you know, audience, this beauty channel that's making millions of dollars and able to do all this stuff. She has this audience who's eager for everything that she's doing. How can I do that? And so they'll, you know, create the really highly polished sets and, you know, cast the right person who's, you know, feels down home but is still like beautiful, and, you know, all this stuff that they think makes a really strong beauty channel, and those always fail to get viewers, subscribers, etc. And it's because it's lacking that authentic or organic connection with the audience, like Olga was saying.
The future generation will be only paying attention to people like PewDiePie, and they will grow with him, and then over time it's going to become more quality, but they're going to be really paying attention to those people. And for the lack of a better word, and I hate saying this, but when older generation dies off,
You're done. You're done for. This is what we think of you
I'm
people.
sorry, I hate saying that, but it's very true. Then who are you concentrating on?
The intent of it always remains the same, and that's the thing that we always try to hold on to. When I was a kid, I saw Jaws, and I'm like, I'm going to make things like that for the rest of my life. That's what I'm going to do. And just because we're in this new space, and just because we're you know, coming out on YouTube and we're getting a chance to do this, that's where it came from us. And it all comes from the same place, and we want to do the same thing. And when we go into these relationships and we start working with brands, and we have that same sort of passion that is just like everything that came out of traditional media, and we set rules for ourselves, and we try to really appreciate it. And like, you know, we always talk about our internal mantra when it comes to working with advertisers, or everything that we're doing, is we have it, and especially with regards to our audience, is we say, don't piss people off. And we don't want to piss off the sponsor. We don't want to piss off everybody internally. We want everybody to be happy, and most importantly, we want our audience to be happy. And we go into it and we communicate everything that we want to do. We let them know what our audience is interested in. We try to communicate exactly what we're going to be doing, what our tone is. And if we get everybody on the same page, everybody walks away and feels like they win.